Shalom, family. This is Elder Jenkins with the King James Bible University. And I want to speak to you on the topic, the song of the Lord, meaning the song of the Spirit of God. See, family, we have been conditioned over the years through our parents and our grandparents and great men and women that came before us to sing songs and put songs together. And I'm reminded of a couple of songs that I can even think of on the top of my head. One is by Walter Hawkins. It's titled, I'm Going Up Yonder. If you get a chance, I want you to listen at the lyrics. Another one, the Chicago Mass Choir, I Pray We All Be Ready. And of course, Kurt Franklin's Stump. If you listen at the lyrics of these songs, and when you know the knowledge of truth as you study to show yourself approved, you see that it's a great contradiction between the words, the lyrics, and the song of the Spirit of God, the Most High. So it's several others that can be looked at and called upon, but those are just some that come to my mind when you listen at the lyric and then you compare it to the song of the Lord, of the Spirit of God. And we see if it's ever going to be a song sung, we need to learn and sing the song of the Spirit of God. So I'm not going to be before you very long. Once again, this is Elder Jenkins with the King James Bible University. And it's my prayer that someone would be richly edified and gain some knowledge and understanding and some strength during this teaching. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to start at the book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 2. He says, gather yourselves together and hear, meaning hearken and learn, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel, your father. So in other words, he's gathering all of these tribes together, all 12 tribes, because the Most High have something that he wants to say. He wants us to hearken and hear what he has to say. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 9 through 18. And Moses, which is representing the word of truth spiritually, wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Spirit of God, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles, when all Israel is come to appear before the Spirit of God, thy God, meaning thy God. He says, in the place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear, meaning desire the Spirit of God, your guide, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear, to the desire the Spirit of God, your God, as long as ye live in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. So in other words, you're going to pass from the way of the world as you learn. And you're going to pass over into Jordan. You passing over into the knowledge of truth, spiritually speaking, to possess the joy of the Lord, your crown of righteousness, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, everything that you need to be fit for the kingdom. He said, and the Spirit of God said unto Moses, behold, remember, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua, or you can even look at it as Yahushua the Messiah, spiritually speaking, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Spirit of God appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Spirit of God said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. So the Most High already knew what we was going to do. He said, then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them. I'm going to hide my understanding from them, and they shall be devoured. And many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us? Because our God is not among us. So you have people saying that even to this day. I saw a video just the other day, and this guy was saying, you see all of the things that's happening to black people? It can't be a God. It can't be a God if he allowing these things to happen, but it tells you that they don't study the word of God, because he is explaining everything we need to know, and he's telling us in the book what we're going to say. He just said, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they, meaning we, will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us? Because our God is not among us. He said, and I will surely hide my face, meaning my understanding, in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. So we decided we want to pick up this God and that God, this God that mama told us about, this God that our grandparents told us about. We want to pick up every God except the Most High God of Israel, our God. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, verse 22 down to 24. And it reads, so the house of Israel shall know that I am the Spirit of God, meaning their God, from that day and forward. And the heathen, which is the adversaries against God, shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, for their acts of sins, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face, hid I my understanding, hid I my truth. I did all of these things from them, and gave them into the hand, meaning into the power and the strength of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. So fell us all by those different doctrines of the enemies and their gods. Because why? He hid his face. He hid his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from us because we was wanting to go and horn around after other gods. Verse 24. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them and hid my face from them. In other words, I hid my understanding, my truth from them. This is what I did. Deuteronomy chapter 31 and verse 19 and 20. He says, now therefore, write ye this song for you. See, not them other songs that we hear out there in the secular world. It's many more that I can call out, but those just kind of stick with me. But not those songs that you hear, Mary, Mary, it's the God in me and all of these different things. He said, nah, don't do that. Now, therefore, write ye this song for you. And not only you write it, he said, and teach it the children of Israel, put it in their mouths. You need to put it in their understanding, their doctrine. It's my doctrine. You need to put it in their mouth because they need to learn what I have to say to them, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. So in other words, this entire teaching is a song. What we saw over in Ezekiel chapter 39 is a song. What we're reading right now is a song. If any of us talented in our vocals and we want to write a song, we want to sing a song, this is the song that we need to be singing and teaching it to our people. Verse 20, he said, for when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey. Now keep in mind, this is spiritual talk, family. This land that floweth with milk and honey is you passing over Jordan into the knowledge of truth, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. This is what it's talking about spiritually speaking. Not physically, but spiritually. You gonna be in a mindset where you gonna have the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. You're gonna be obeying his voice. You, Elder Lynn just told us just the other day, it's the kingdom is within you. That's where the kingdom is. Ye are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. So he said, a land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey. And they shall have eaten and filled themselves, meaning they shall have learned and filled themselves up with the milk and the honey, which is the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding, and waxen fat. Then will they turn unto other gods. Wow. Isn't that something? And serve them and provoke me and break my covenant. Now, somebody might say, Elder Jenkins, I don't get it. How in the world could they be promised this land that floweth with milk and honey? And now, Elder Jenkins, you trying to tell me that spiritually speaking, this land that floweth with milk and honey is the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding that come from the Most High? And you trying to tell me after they have eaten, meaning after they have learned and filled themselves with the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding from the Most High, you trying to tell me after that they waxing fat and then they turn unto other gods and serve them after they got the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding? That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you, because we're going to show it to you in scripture. He said, and provoke me and break my covenant. Let's go here. Let's show it to you. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And we're going to hit verse 1 through 12. He said, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized, were condemned unto Moses. Keep in mind the spiritual meaning for Moses is the word of truth. In the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat, meaning, and did all learn the same spiritual meat, meaning the doctrine, the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding. And did all learn the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So this is proven they was in that land that's flowing with milk and honey, and it was the spiritual meat, the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding. But let's look in what it see what it says. He said, but with many of them, Yahweh was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to learn about the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding. They sat down to learn of this spiritual meat and this spiritual drink, and they rose up to play. This is exactly what happened. See, this is a similitude of what some of us is even doing today. We make sure we tune in every time a teaching is on. And we want to sign in and say our little shaloms, our shalom families, and whatever else it is we say. And we sit down at the table, at the Feast of Tabernacles, and we learn the doctrine of the Most High. As soon as we learn it, we rise up to play. We rise up to do the things of the world. We rise up to do all of the things that the heathen do. We rise up to be a part of Thanksgiving. We rise up to be a part of Christmas. We rise up to be a part of Halloween. We rise up to be a part of all of these holidays, and we don't think nothing of it. Matter of fact, Elder Pittman just did a teaching on that not too long ago. So we see it's a similitude. What we do today is what was going on back then. He says, neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. See, when we do these things, when we sitting down to eat, meaning to learn the spiritual meat, and to learn this spiritual drink, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we rise up to play. We ain't doing nothing but tempting Christ. He's saying we're destroyed of serpents, these split-tongued doctrine preachers out there. This is exactly what happens when we tempt Christ. He says, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall. See, we got to take heed, family, because these things can easily happen unto us easily. And just to prove the point even more about when it says, and did all eat, meaning learn the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. To prove the point even more, we're going to go somewhere. It's going to be a little on the spiritual side, but we're going to go there and show it in another location. Sirach chapter 24, verse 25 down to 30. He say, he filleth all things with his wisdom. This is what he have done. As Pison and as Tigris in the time of the new fruit. See, you need to know what the word Pison means. That's a key. And it said, and he make it the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in a time of harvest. Same as Euphrates. We need to know what this means. This Tigris, because all these have meanings. The Pison, the Tigris, Euphrates, the Gihon, all of these have meanings. But he's telling us how he filleth all things with wisdom. We know these rivers is talking about people. Let's keep going. Verse 27. He says, he maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gihon in the time of vintage. The first man knew her not perfectly. No more shall the last find her out. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep. This is speaking about wisdom, the Spirit of God. It said, I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. Now let's get some more information and tie this in, because we know what this garden is talking about, people once again. But he's telling us what he have done. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 down to 17. It says, in the Spirit of God, the Lord God formed man, male and female, of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And the Spirit of Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Spirit of Yahweh to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, for the understanding, and good for food, and good for learning. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden. And the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. This is the same thing we just saw in the book of Sirach. But keep in mind, this is talking about people. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is Belgium and the honest stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. Once again, is talking about people. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hittico. Once again, talking about people. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Once again, talking about people. And the Spirit of God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. In other words, to teach the things of the Most High. To teach the knowledge and everything that was good for food, meaning everything that was good for learning and that was pleasant to the sight, meaning pleasant for the understanding. This is what he did. Verse 16, and the Spirit of Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely learn. You should learn from them. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not learn of it. You shouldn't learn from that one. But these other teachers, you can learn from them. It's spiritual talk. He said, for in the day that thou learnest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So if you go around messing up with the ancient and honorable, you go around messing up with the king of sin, you shall surely die. That's what he's telling us. Let's keep going. Sirach, chapter 24, verse 31 through 34. He said, I said I will water my best garden and will water. In other words, I'm going to give this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We already saw the four rivers. I'm going to go back there just for a quick second. If someone is inquisitive about these rivers and someone want to try to see if they can find these rivers who is speaking of, I'm going to call them out one more time. The first, Pison. The second, Gihon. The third, Hittico. And the fourth, Euphrates. So in your spare time and your spare studies, if you want to try to find who those rivers are speaking of, you're welcome to it. But he says back in Sirach 24 and 31 down to 34, he said, I said I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river and my river became a sea. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning and will send forth her light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. In other words, I'm going to leave it to all generations forever. Behold, remember that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. This is what he have done. Verse 8 through 12. So the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel. He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion, in the house of Israel. Likewise in the beloved city, the beloved people, he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power. And I took root in an honorable people, even in a portion of the Creator's inheritance. So this is what he have done. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 21 down to 20. Still talking about this song that's being sung tonight. He said, and it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befalling them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed, meaning their children, their offspring, for I know their imagination, which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses, therefore, wrote this song the same day and taught it the children of Israel, and he gave Joshua, the son of Nun, a charge, and said, be strong and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Spirit of God, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant. In other words, put it in your heart, in your mind. He said, of the Spirit of God, your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Spirit of God. And how much more after my death? So Moses, he said that I already know you've been rebellious, but how much more rebellious will you be after I die? He says, gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in the ears and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death, ye will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Spirit of God, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands, meaning through your power, through your strength. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. See, family, my question is, why we don't have none of these songs playing on the radio? Every song you hear is how good God is and how God is in me and how I'm going to be raptured up and how his blessings is all over me. We hear all of these different songs. But we ain't never heard none of these songs right here that we're learning about in this teaching. Why is that? If anyone is inspired to write a song and to sing a song, how about let's sing the song of the Lord, the song of the Spirit of God. Let's keep going. Let's hear some more of this song. Isaiah chapter 65. And we're going to hit verse 2 through 5. He said, I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts, a people that provoked me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens. See, We got to think about this thing for a minute, family. He just got through showing us. I'm going to go back there just for just a quick, brief moment. I'm going to go back to the book of Sirach, chapter 24, and verse 31. He said, I said I will water my best garden, singular. In other words, he's going to give wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to his best garden. That's what he said he's going to do. He said, and will water abundantly my garden bed. This is singular. So he's equipping us with the spiritual meat and the spiritual drink, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, and what we do. He done equipped us with it. In verse 3, he said, a people that provoked me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens. So what he gave us wasn't good enough. We want to go into other gardens and burning incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves, meaning the congregation of the dead, and large in the monuments which eat, meaning which learn unclean doctrine, swine's flesh, unclean teachings, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels, in their temples. This is what we are learning, things that's not good for us. He say, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. The Most High say, these are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Most High is not playing with us, family. You gonna say, stand by thyself, don't come near me because I'm holier than thou, and we doing all these ungodly things? Really? This is what we do. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15 down to 18. He say, for behold, the Spirit of God will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword, his word, will the Spirit of God plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Spirit of God shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens again, behind one tree in the midst. See, that one tree, I got to go there, family. Excuse me, I got to go. I got to show you that one tree that he's talking about. I got to show you. Let's go right here to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. He said, and out of the ground made the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Yahweh, to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of a garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is that tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So let's go back there to Isaiah chapter 66. And we'll pick it up back at verse 17. He say, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, eating swine's flesh, learning unclean doctrines, and the abomination, and the mouse, the rodent, shall be consumed together, said the Spirit of God. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations in tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. This is what's going on. And I'm going to tie in also this one tree that we see here, that they was wanting to sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind the one tree that's representing the knowledge of good and evil. We're going to show you in another location. Ezekiel chapter 31, and we gonna get some more information on who this is talking about. We're gonna hit chapter 31, verse 2 down to 18. He says, "Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt." We know spiritually the word Pharaoh means the king of sin. So you can say the ancient and honorable. You can say the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because they all representing the same thing. He said, "Speak unto Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, the king of sin, and to his multitude, his followers, whom art thou like in thy greatness? Behold, the Assyrian Pharaoh, the king of sin, was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of an high stature. And its top was among the thick boughs. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high with her rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field." It's spiritual talk. "Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters. When he shot forth, all the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations." We just got through reading some of this over in Isaiah 66. "Thus was he fair in his greatness, and the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters, the knowledge of good and evil. The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him. Therefore, thus said the Spirit of Creator Yahweh, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he have shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height, I have therefore delivered him into the hand, the power of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness." See, this is one of the trees that was even created in the garden. He said, and the strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off and have left him upon the mountains, and in all the valleys his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land. And all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow and have left. Upon his ruin shall all the fowls of the heaven remain, and all the beasts of the field shall be upon his branches, to the end that none of all the trees by the waters exalt themselves for their height, neither shoot up their top among the thick boughs, neither their trees stand up in their height. All that drink water, that learning is knowledge, for they are all delivered unto death. Learning from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He said, to the nether parts of the earth, in the midst of the children of men, with them that go down to the pit. Thus said the Creator Yahweh, in the day when he went down to the grave, I caused a mourning. I covered the deep for him, and I restrained the floods thereof, and the great waters were stayed, and I caused Lebanon to mourn for him, and all the trees of the field fainted for him. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit. And all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, the ones that was created even in his image, the ones that had no business learning from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, because he said all of these other trees is good for food. It's good to eat of. It's good to learn from. But don't learn from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He says, and all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink water, all that learn that knowledge, shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth. They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword. See, there's always a mixed multitude sitting there. And they that were his arm, meaning they that were his strength, his power, that dwelt under his shadow in the midst of the heathen. It's another precept just came to my mind. I want to tie in because it's so befitting. Hadn't been over here in a while. Isaiah chapter 14, and we'll start at about verse 13. Now I'll start at verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? You too busy following and learning from this tree that the Most High told you not to learn from. He said, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. He said, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. This is what's going to happen, oh Lucifer. You was the choice. Let's get over here and let's get some more of this information again. He's telling us he was the choice of Lebanon. Let's get it. Right here in verse 16. He said, I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall when I cast him down to hell with them that is descend into the pit. And all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon. Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning, you the choice and best of Lebanon. But what did you do? He said, all that learn that knowledge of good and evil shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth. They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword. And they that were his arm, his strength, that dwelt under his shadow in the midst of the heathen. So this is what happened. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 20 down to 31. He said, declare this, we declaring this song. He said, declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah. See, if you want to publish a song, you want to get something out there to the people, this is the song that we need to be publishing. He said, and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me? You mean to tell me you don't fear me? You don't desire me? You don't honor me? He said, fear ye not me, said the Spirit of God? Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree? You can go out to the ocean right now, and the sand is always right there, lining up with the ocean. The ocean cannot go no further than what he allowed. It is always going to go back. He said that it cannot pass it. And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. See, you might even have a hurricane that blows some water in, but guess what? Just as soon as it passed, that water got to go right back from where it came. It cannot stay where it don't belong. He said, but this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. That's what he's saying. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Spirit of God, our God, that give it rain, that give it knowledge, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserved unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people are found wicked men. See, he's talking about the house of Israel. This is the song that we need to be singing. He said, for among, meaning in the midst of my people are found wicked men. They lay wait. As he that set it snares, they set a trap. They catch men, they catch them in these church buildings. Teaching for hire and judging for reward and divining for money. This is what they do. He said, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Want you to pay your tithes. Wanting you to pay the pastor's salary. Wanting you to do all these things and treat the men and women of their God, treat them like a king and a queen. He said, their houses are full of deceit. Their temples are full of deceit. They have a split-tongue doctrine of Leviathan. He said, therefore, they are become great and waxing rich. They riding around in Bentleys. They riding around in Benz. They riding around on Gulfstream private jets. All off the dime of their followers. They are waxing fat. They shine. This one guy out of LA was on the Preachers of LA. He was up doing a sermon. And somebody came and touched him. And he was like, hey, man, this suit costs $5,000. Don't you be touching my suit. This not Armani. He said they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They ain't doing more abundantly than the wicked. He said they judge, meaning they teach not the cause. They don't teach what they ought to be teaching. They too busy shining with their $5,000 suits. He said, the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. See, this is what they should be speaking to the ones that don't know Christ. Yet they prosper. In the right of the needy, do they not teach? They don't teach the right of the needy, the things that's pleasing in our sight of the Most High. They don't sing this song. You won't give them to preach this song. You won't hear them teach this song for the people can learn this song, the song of the Lord. Oh, they got a song for you. They even got an offering song. When I was in the church, they had a song for the offering. Like, give it in Jesus' name, and the Lord will give it back to you. If you don't have but 100, give it in Jesus' name. If you don't have but a 20, give it in Jesus' name. They keep going through all of those different numbers, a 50, a dollar, give it in Jesus' name, and the Lord will give it back to you. They bring that song out during offering time. But these are the things they do. He say, in the right of the needy, do they not teach? He say, shall I not visit for these things? Said the Spirit of God. Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? See, we got to answer that question. Verse 30. He say, a wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land, in the nation. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. They're ruling their own kingdom. And if you going up in there, you're a part of their kingdom. He's telling us right here, and the priests bear rule by their means. Not the Most High means, but by their means. In other words, the flow of the service is going by their means. See, you will never, ever have a service that's going to get the offering at the end of the sermon. No, they not. They know better than that. They're going to get the offering before the sermon because some of you might leave and have to go. They're going to make sure that music is playing and you're happy and you're excited and you're going to spend your money before the word comes. Just in case you got to leave or the service taking too long, they already got your money. He said, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And you love it. You willingly participate. You love it. I used to love it until I came to the knowledge of this truth. I'm not picking on you. I'm singing the song of the Spirit of God. Song got to be sung. He said, and what will ye do in the end thereof? He asking us a question. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3 down to 10. He said, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day, even today. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus said the Creator Yahweh. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are a rebellious house. They are rebellious people. We are a rebellious nation. Yet shall know that there have been a prophet, a mouthpiece of Yahweh among them, in the midst of them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with thee, the sinful, wicked people. And thou doest dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and learn that I give thee. The things that I give you, I want you to learn. And not only that I want you to learn it, I want you to speak it and teach it after I give it to you. And when I look and behold, and a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe. This is what's going on. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1 through 11. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, learn that thou findest. Learn this roll and go speak unto the house of Israel. I want you to learn everything that I'm going to fill you with, the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding. And I got a destination. All out in the world where they're scattered to the four corners of the earth. I want you to go speak unto the house of Israel, all 12 tribes. So I opened my mouth and he caused me to learn that role. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to learn, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee, this word that I give thee. Then did I learn it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness, just like the land that's flowing with milk and honey, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. Just like those rivers, Pison and Hittico and Euphrates and Gihon. Verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel and speak with my words unto them. See, it ain't the person that's giving you the words. They don't own the words. The words belong to the Most High. He says, speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Now, family, I want to pause for a minute. I want to do like just a little a brief questionnaire. You could put yes or no. But it can even be your parents, your uncle, your auntie. It can be your spouse, your siblings. But have you ever experienced something simple as sharing the knowledge with them that we are not permitted to eat swine's flesh, pork, and shellfish, meaning shrimp, lobsters, crabs, scallops, catfish, all of the things that most black people love. When we go to share this knowledge with them, they don't want to hear it. Have any of you ever experienced these things? Or is it just me? You could put yes or no. Something as simple as that. You pouring out your heart to your parent, trying to get them to see. And the only thing they can tell you is, Uncle so-and-so always ate pork and they lived to be how many other years? Or they just flat out right, they're not going to do it. You can show it to them in a book and they are not going to do it. He said, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. See, he put markers on us. It's easy to know who the house of Israel is because of our characteristics. There'll be some hard-hearted, stiff-necked, rebellious people. We can't even get along with each other. We can't unite with each other. You even got folks that teach the truth that's against other folks, that's against other folks, that's against other folks. We can't even unite with each other. That's how bad it is. This group against this group, that group against that group. All throughout the house of Israel, we are hard-hearted. He said, behold, I have made thy face strong against their face. In other words, I made your understanding, when I gave you this roll to eat, to learn, your understanding is going to be strong against their understanding, because if they come to you with some false doctrine, you're going to cut them with the truth. He said, and thy forehead strong against their forehead, the knowledge, the crown that I have given you. It's going to be strong against what they learning on. Most of them learning from that tree of knowledge of good and evil. But I'm going to make your forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house, a rebellious people. Don't fear them. You tell them the truth, you shake the dust, and you keep it moving. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears, and go get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus said the Creator Yahweh. In other words, you tell them this song. You give them this song. Now, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, it's totally up to them. Because they got to choose which side of the plumb line they want to be on. But I'm going to give you this role to learn, and I want you to go and tell them. I'm going to make sure your forehead is stronger than theirs. Your understanding is stronger than theirs. I don't care what kind of doctrine they try to pump you. I'm going to make sure you fully equipped for the task at hand, for the assignment that I'm giving you. Luke chapter 21, verse 15 through 17. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries, all the heathen, shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your siblings, your friends, your spouse. I don't care who they are. If they're not on the Lord's side, they're your adversary. He said they should not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents, that's what we just got through saying, and brethren, and kin folks, your cousin in them, and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. It's like you don't even exist anymore. And ye shall be hated of all men for my ways' sake. The ways of Christ. That's what's going down. Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. The word of the Spirit of God also came unto me, saying, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house. This is what's going on. Well, let's see what we got here. Matthew chapter 13, verse 13 through 17. He said, Therefore, speak I to them in parables, because they seeing, see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. They just don't get it. Trying to tell them and show them we can't be eating these things carnally, and spiritually we cannot be learning these unclean things. It's a similitude of what he's showing us carnally, transferring over to what he's trying to show us spiritually. If we can't eat the swine's flesh carnally, it lets us know we cannot learn and partake in unclean doctrines spiritually. But they seeing, they see not, they hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Ezekiel, which said, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I shall heal them. But blessed, giving wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. The reason why? Because they was being rebellious still. This is why. It's being rebellious, stiff-hearted, stiff-necked. didn't want to hearken to the voice of the Most High. They want to bear their own rule in their own church houses and prophesy falsely. Ezekiel chapter 44, verses 1 through 13. Then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. Then said the Spirit of God unto me, this gate shall be shut, it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Spirit of God, the God of Israel, have entered in by it. Therefore, it shall be shut. It is for the prince. The prince, he shall sit in it to learn knowledge before the Spirit of God. He shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house. And I looked, and behold, the glory of the Spirit of God filled the house of the Spirit of God, and I fell upon my face. And the Spirit of God said unto me, Son of man, mark well, and behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears all that I say unto thee, concerning all the ordinances of the house of the Spirit of God, and all the laws thereof. And mark well the entering in of the house, with every going forth of the sanctuary. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus said the Creator Yahweh, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations. So in other words, if this is what you want to do, let it be sufficed. If this is what you're going after. He say, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh. Wow. To be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when ye offer my bread, my knowledge, the fat and the blood, the life. And they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. This is going right back to Isaiah chapter 66, talking about purifying and sanctifying themselves in the gardens, under the tree. He say, and ye have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. This is what these priests, these pastors was doing it for themselves. He said, thus said the Creator Yahweh, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among me in the midst of the children of Israel. And the Levites that are gone away far from me, so you always got a mixed multitude, when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, after their false gods, they shall even bear their iniquity. See, this is what Isaiah chapter 31 was telling us about. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having charge at the gates of the house, and ministering to the house. They shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them, because they ministered unto them before their idols, and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Therefore have I lifted up my hand against them, said the Creator Yahweh, and they shall bear their iniquity, and they shall not come near unto me. In other words, they not going to be no priest to me. He said, and they shall not come near unto me to do the office of a priest unto me. See, you might well go on over there to the ancient and honorable where you already linked up at. Go on over there to the king of sin, old Pharaoh, where you already linked up at. Because we already done showed you where their demise is going to be. But he said, and they shall not come near unto me to do the office of a priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place. But they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. So he's already telling us they don't get this right. It ain't no need coming over to him, because you're not going to be no priest unto him. We're going to show you where you're going to be a priest at. Some of you are already gladly being priests over here already. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 15 and 16. He said, the ancient and honorable, the one that is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, he is the head. The one that is, spiritually speaking, Pharaoh, the king of sin, he is the head. And the prophet that teacheth lies, the priest, the pastor, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Second Esdras, chapter 1, verse 1 through 8. It says, no, I don't think I got that right. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's see, First Esdras. Okay, First Esdras. No, it's Second Esdras. I apologize. Give me 1 second. I think I might have written that verse down incorrectly, because this is not going. Let's see here. Okay, I see it. It's First Esdras chapter 1, and we starting at verse 5, not verse 1. That's it. Verse 5 through verse 8. He says, go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds. This is still the song of the Spirit of God that he wants us to sing. He said, and their children, their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them. For they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of sin, out of the land of the house of bondage, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsel. They spoke evil of my counsels. Pull thou off then the hair of thy head and cast all evil upon them. For they have not been obedient unto my law. but it is a rebellious people. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 through 3. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Spirit of God, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a spirit, but not, no, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, didn't want to learn my ways, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, the king of sin, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, of sin. He said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh, the king of sin, be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. See, that's going right back to what we saw over there in Ezekiel. He showed us over there in Ezekiel how his shadow was over all of the trees in the garden. Over in Ezekiel chapter 31, I'm going to just pull that, just a little bit of that, because we already went over it, but I just want to make sure everybody is seeing these. Talk about Pharaoh, the king of sin, with a shadow and shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. His height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. Just want to make sure we getting all this information. Second Esdras, chapter 1 and verse 9. He said, how long shall I forbear them into whom I have done so much good? I planted my law in their heart. I placed it in their minds, in their inward parts. I called them by my name and by my way. I made a covenant. I made an agreement with them. And with the agreement that I made with them, he tells us here in Psalms 89 and verse 34. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips. So he's promising us, giving us his word, that his covenant, his agreement that he made with us, that he will not break it. And he's asking the question, how long shall I forbear them, into whom I have done so much good? That's a question we got to ask. We got to answer that. 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12 down to 17. Now I beseech those that read this book and those that listen to this song, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Look how much informed we can be as a people if we were singing these songs, if we was teaching these songs, if we was from as a child learning these songs. He said, for it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punish. For not as with other nations, whom the Creator patiently forbear to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins. so dealeth he with us. Lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance on us. And therefore he never withdrawed his mercy from us. And though he punished with adversity, yet doeth he never forsake his people. But let this that we have spoken be a warning unto us. And now will we come to the clearing of the matter in a few words. Micah chapter 6 and verse 8. He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Spirit of God require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. So family, I hope and pray that someone have enjoyed this song of the Lord, because he have given us his songs, and it's up to us to learn the whole role and speak his songs to his people. It is our responsibility. He already told us. He made our foreheads stronger than their foreheads, our faces, meaning our understanding, stronger than their faces, their understanding. He told us he'd give us a mouth and wisdom that our adversaries wouldn't ever be able to gainsay nor resist. He have given us everything we need. So family, I hope and pray something was said to help you on your journey, walking with the Most High. And let's encourage one another to learn these songs, to repeat these songs, to sing these songs, to teach these songs. We do these things. He told us in his word that he leave it to all ages forever, and all them that seek wisdom. So I want to say a happy Sabbath day to everyone. Hope you have a wonderful Sabbath as we begin this Sabbath morning. And I'm going to say a shalom to everyone until we meet again. Shalom.